champion Seattle at this juncture right here in the quarterfinal. They are hoping to get over this hurdle this year. They have twice previously made a semifinal and been eliminated. Only one time had they made it past the semifinal into a final. That was 1993. So tonight, for just the fourth time in club history, Club Leon hoping to make it to the semifinal of a Concacaf Champions League. Players will take the field in just a moment, and after the Concacaf anthem, we'll get you to kickoff between Violette and Club Leon.
Damas y caballeros, demos la bienvenida al Violette Athletic Club y León Fútbol Club para el partido de esta noche de la Liga de Campeones Concacaf Scotiabank.
You see the emotion on the faces of the Violette players. This is all right now an escape for them from the turmoil that has befallen Haiti as they play their quote-unquote home games here in Dominican Republic. It's going to take a lot tonight to overcome this 5-0 aggregate deficit, just to be here and be playing tonight after about a 10-month layoff from the last time they took the field in the Caribbean Club Championship last May. Between that and then starting this tournament against Austin, nearly 10 months to be out there now, having made a quarterfinal. A lot about their character, and don't know exactly when they'll be taking the field again after tonight. But as they stand tonight, it's the same starting 11 that took the field last week in that defeat on the road against Leon. They'll look for Shuri up top. He had a brace at home on this field in the first leg against Austin, that 3-0 victory. The back line remains unchanged, anchored by two youngsters who took part last year in the Concacaf Under-20 Championship, Jean Lariche and Fernando Cicerone, 19 and 20 years old, respectively. Tasked with keeping Leon off the scoreboard anymore tonight and getting them back into it as well. Keylor Herrera of Costa Rica leads the refereeing crew. Carlos Fernandez, Raimundo Feliz are his assistant referees, with Rende Encarnacion as the fourth official. Captains meeting for the coin toss. It's Steven Sava, the midfielder for Violette, and Rodolfo Cota, the experienced goalkeeper for Club Leon, who is up over 400 professional appearances in his career, dating back to his debut in 2004. In the VAR room, Tatiana Guzman, Benjamin Pineda lead things. See if that comes into play at all tonight. But it is there if we need it, and it came up in a big way for Leon in the first leg. Remember, Violette had a chance at the 57-minute mark to tie the game at 1. VAR decision disallowed that because of offside. A very different story for Club Leon. Mentioned it was the same starting 11 as last week for Violette. You see 7 changes here for Club Leon, and that includes 4 youth products coming in from the U20 side to take the field here. You could tell they're comfortable, of course, with their 5-0 lead, and they are trying to get the minutes spread around as they navigate a congested fixture schedule between domestic and Champions League play. As the rain pours harder, it'll be Leon in the green from left to right, Violette in the blue and white from right to left. Stranger things have happened in this sport. Will it continue for Violette? Down 5-0 on aggregate, needing a mini miracle to stay alive here in the 2023 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. Joe Malfa with you this evening from Estadio Sabao in Santiago, Dominican Republic. Leg number 2 with Leon after that commanding 5-0 aggregate lead. They will not have much urgency, I'd imagine, in the attack tonight. The more they can just hold on to it and get out of here unscathed, the better. Luis Cervantes on the right side of this back line for Club Leon is one of those youth products, the 22-year-old. He's made 71 appearances for the U20s, including 11 this year, where he still predominantly features with the reserve side. He gets the nod tonight. Again, Michel or Violette. Tight quarters here for Vidrine. 10th meeting all time tonight in Champions League between a Mexican side and a Haitian side. Mexico leads the all-time series with 8 wins, just 1 draw. The only result for a Haitian side against a Mexican team in the modern era of this tournament. Belonged to Arcai 2 years ago. 0-0 draw in the first leg against Cruz Azul. Outside of that, total Mexican dominance. And one thing that might surprise people is that of the 2 teams on the field tonight, Leon boasting their 5-0 aggregate advantage, one of these 2 teams has won this tournament in the past. It's not the team you'd think. Back in the old days of the Concacaf Champions Cup, Violette lifted the trophy in 1984. Best ever finish for Leon was as the runners-up in 1993. In the modern era of Champions League, this year is the first year Violette has ever qualified. And so against all odds, winning the Caribbean Club Championship last May. Actually did so against Cibao. And that is the team who is the typical home side at this venue. His first full circle in that regard for Violette. Out ahead to Vidrine. First real attack forward for a side chasing 5 of them tonight. As the skies open up even a bit more now. 3 minutes in. Vidrine settled for a strike that's blocked. And a foul called against Violette. Cervantes Chested down by Alvarado. Gets it for Castillo. Byron Castillo. Wide for Hector Uribe. His ball over the top toward Alvarado. Is grabbed by Paul Decius. Decius, the 29-year-old goalkeeper, has allowed 7 goals over the last 2 matches against Austin and Leon. However, he has 14 saves. Made big stop after big stop in crunch time against Austin to pull off that historic upset for Violette. As we showed you the highlights top of the broadcast, he held up for a long time against Leon last week in the first leg. Eventually, the dam just burst for Violette. It was a 1-0 game until the 66th minute. Could have been 1-1 just 10 minutes prior to that before VAR disallowed a goal for offside. And then the late avalanche for Leon. Smelling the blood in the water and just finally driving it home against Violette, scoring in the 84th, 91st, and 94th minutes. It would look a lot different if it were just 2-0 or even 3-0. With the extra insurance for Leon, he was there likely through. Castillo taken down, free kick coming for the visitors. And should Leon get through, they would face the victors of Tigres and Motagua in the next round. Currently a 1-0 aggregate lead for Tigres coming home in the second leg. Three-man wall for Decius. Jesus Angulo, left-footed option, standing over the free kick. Angulo unable to get it past the first man. Jesus Angulo just signed in January, making his 3rd start now in Champions League. Hasn't really caught on in terms of the domestic campaign, only 5 appearances in 14 matches of the Clausura, all 5 of those off the bench. And he gets a chance again tonight to start in Champions League. Decius gets it back into play for Ciceron. Looking long towards Cherie. Ciceron, the 19-year-old center back, has played every minute of all 3 matches so far in Champions League. And he was the captain at all 4 matches for Haiti at the Under-20 Championship last summer. Saw them lose in the round of 16 to Jamaica. Control regained by Leon all the way back to Albion. Uribe. Cross again for Cervantes. Making his Champions League debut tonight, Cervantes. Alfonso Alvarado with the switch. Back for Paul Bayon. Fidel Ambriz. Over the top. And brought down by Club Leon. It's Alvarado. Knocked out for a throw. Flipped ahead by Cervantes. Saved by Decius. First chance of the match for Brian Rubio. 26-year-old. Has been in Mexico since 2019 after starting his career in Costa Rica. Big target man. Has 19 goals in his professional career, 105 appearances. 7 appearances with 1 goal for Club Leon last season. That was his first with the club. Down by Camille. Cherie tracking back. Awkward bounce gets back to him. Cherie looking to score from midfield. Slices it away. Saw that Rodolfo Cotto was off his line. He's going to take a perfect strike from there through this wind and rain. Saba gets there ahead of Ambriz. Back for Castillo. Saba makes a tackle. All of him last for a throw. Steven Saba, the 30-year-old, also works at his family hardware store in Haiti. He's played every minute of this tournament for Violette. Hopes to be in the mix a couple of months from now at the Gold Cup for Haiti. Gonna be a last audition here for him as well. As 19 caps at the senior level. Steven Saba was not in the squad for the 2021 Gold Cup, but he was with Haiti for the June window of Nations League. 4 appearances, 3 starts, ball played in, saved again by Decius. Second chance for Brian Rubio with the head, both times denied by Decius. Rubio with the feet this time. Saba made those 4 appearances, 3 of them starts in the June Nations League window. Had 2 goals for Haiti. So could be in the mix a couple of months from now when the Gold Cup begins. Venues were just unveiled yesterday. Given away by Violette, taken by Alvarado. Back for Angulo, and another free kick coming for Leon. Long toss ahead by Lariche, given away. A dozen minutes into this one now. 2 shots on target for Leon, nothing yet for Violette as they chase the 5 goals. Castillo charges ahead, cut off by Ciceron. Castillo for Lucas Romero, 28-year-old from Argentina, just signed in January with Leon. Lucas Romero signed through 2025. Played ahead for Alvarado. Alfonso Alvarado squares it back. It runs past Angulo. Gathered by Dijon. Yvon Dijon continues his run down the right wing. Crowd gets into it. Has some space. Dijon lays it off. And out for a throw-in. First time that Violette has gotten into the box, squared back to the penalty spot for Saba. And cleared by Castillo. This Violette team, if you've been paying attention on all this tournament, is not going to go down without a fight. Players have found solace in this sport and in each other. Tournament has served as a beacon of hope and normalcy. even if this is where it comes to an end today, giving us a memorable, historic run amid the turmoil right now that has befallen their country. Practicing in mornings when it's safer. Doing a lot of other things on the side to occupy the time. After going 10 months between matches. Look on the bench for Shadsan Malani. He's finishing high school in the meantime. Here they are in the quarterfinal of Champions League. Saba over toward the back post, headed across frame. There's a goal for Cherie. They need 5, but you got to get the first before you get there. And that's that man's start of the tournament. Saba started it off, headed across frame by Louis Ma. And there was Cherie. 25-year-old has started every match in this tournament. Scored a brace, both off headers in the first leg against Austin. And scores again tonight. Moment of bliss for the fans that have traveled for Violette. And a glimmer of hope. Still down 5-1 on aggregate. Maybe painful at times to dwell on the what-ifs, but it's hard not to dwell on the what-if as far as how the first leg went for Violette. 57th minute, had a goal disallowed by VAR for offside that would have tied things at 1. You know, from that point on, they would have just parked the bus as much as they could, dig those heels in, trying to take that 1-1 draw through to this home tie now. Or home leg, I should say. Even without that goal, if you keep it to 2-0, maybe 3-0, in the late stages, you still have some hope coming into this. It ballooned to a 5-0 deficit with 3 goals in the final 10 minutes by Leon. They got the first one back. If there was a path to a comeback, you'd imagine they'd like to get another 1 or 2 before halftime. It is a very tall ask. But again, if there's a team in this tournament that is not going to give up the fight, it is certainly this Violette side. All they've overcome and dealt with to get here. Put down by Cicerone. Quick touch by Saba for Camille. Out to Louis Ma. Roberto Louis Ma cutting in on the right foot. It's blocked. And that will trickle out for a goal kick. For now, Violette playing like there's no tomorrow because we don't necessarily know when we will see them next. They won the Concacaf Caribbean Championship last May. That's what got them into this tournament. Last year's edition was the final edition of that tournament. We'll be morphing into the Concacaf Caribbean Cup, a new tournament beginning this year, later this spring into the summer. Don't know the exacts on the dates of when that will take place or if Violette will be confirmed as a participant, but with their domestic league still on hiatus because of the turmoil in Haiti, that may be the next time we see them in that Concacaf Caribbean Cup. Here's Cherie on the turn. One goal already. Eyes for another. Sliced it. 25 yards out, down near the corner flag. And Leon settle things down here. At the back for Ambrise, all the way for the keeper on the slick surface, gave it away. Fortunately for Leon, the touch too heavy by Dijon, out for a goal kick. It is going to be an adventure playing it out of the box if that is the intention of Leon here on this surface in this weather. They had two chances early, Leon. Both headers by that man with the ball right now, Rubio. Both saved by De Sius and Lucas Romero. Touches it along for Angulo. For Ambrise. And Luis Cervantes. Against Michel. 20 minutes in the back pocket now. A 1-0 lead for Violette. Joe Malfa with you from Santiago and Estadio Cibao in the Dominican Republic. Taken away by Rubio, one-on-one with De Sius around the keeper. Takes his time, chips it ahead and headed away. Rubio waited far too long. The moment passed and never resurfaced. That is 3 opportunities squandered by Brian Rubio now. 26-year-old. Goal to his name for Leon. All the way back for Bayonne. What Leon needs to do now, just take the sting out of things a little bit. Playing around the back, settle things after a sudden charge by Violette. It's Rubio again, out for Castillo. Out on Castillo, had it taken away cleanly by Louis Ma. Space to work with now for Dijon. Picks out the switch to Louis Ma. Leon gets back defensively, evens out the numbers. Louis Ma cuts, shoots. It's deflected. And it rolls into the hands of Rodolfo Cota. Down the left wing for Uribe. Lone goal came the 15th minute by Cherie. Still a 5-1 lead on aggregate for Leon. Fired long Behind Decius from the goal kick to Louis Ma, cutting in again. Lays it off this time for Vidrine. Shouts of handball from Violette. Saba strikes it. Rebound left juicy by Kota, but he did well to make the initial save. Fighting off the dipping knuckler of his shot. And the offside flag came up late on Violette. Remember, VAR is part of the equation here if there were a need to take a further look at that handball shout from Violette, but no review necessary. And back to the action. Cut out by Lariche. Camille, long for Louis Ma. He runs onto it. Roberto Louis Ma, a step over to the end line. Corner coming. They've had one corner so far and scored on it. Violette. It was taken short to Saba. He played in the ball. Header by Cherie made it 1-0 in the 15th minute. This time, Saba will take it directly toward the near post. There's two! It's Cherie again in the 26th minute. Violette has life. It's 2-0 on the night, 5-2 on aggregate. Defending in the air has been an issue for Leon. They've conceded 2 corners. They've conceded 2 goals off those corners to the same guy. Cherie had a brace against Austin in the first leg, both off headers, and has 2 more headers to give him 4 goals in this tournament, all with his head. Still a long way to go. But what was once a list of 5 goals needed has been trimmed to 3. The longer this goes without Leon scoring one of their own, the more Violette will feel like they have a chance, and penalty shout waved off by our referee, Keylor Herrera. Don't mean to sound like a broken record in this regard, but this is what just makes it so deflating for Violette to have conceded those 3 goals in the final 10 minutes on the road against Leon. Conceding in the 84th, 91st, and 94th, and conversely, what makes it so important that Leon went on to find those goals. Penalty shout was initially waved off immediately by Herrera. It looks like he's gone to the monitor to give it a second look. Since VAR was instituted, 92% of checks that result in the official going to the monitor have led to the call being changed. Again, 92% of the time, when the referee goes over for a second look, it gets changed. Is this in the 8% or the 92%? It's in the 92%. Penalty for Leon. This could be exactly what León needs to stop the bleeding. Because should they score this penalty here as we approach the half-hour mark, it would then mean Violette is right back to square one. Because Violette did not get the away goal, and that's what León could have here, Violette would have to then get to 7. So they started the night needing 5 goals. They already have 2 of those. If Rubio converts here from 12 yards out, it's back to needing 5 for Violette. Rubio has had 3 opportunities so far. Twice he was denied by Paul de Seus. Can the keeper come up big again? Rubio, 3 goals in 14 matches since joining León in January. And it is in for Rubio. A dagger perhaps for Violette, finally for León. Up to 6-2 on aggregate. They get the away goal. And now Violette needs 5 more. De Seus gets the right way, but too much power on it from Rubio. Nifty turn by Dijon. Can they get it right back here? And swing the momentum back in their favor. It's cleared by Angulo. Madrine switches. Brought down by Michel. Looking inside to Dijon. Knocked out for a throw-in. So 3 shots on target tonight for León. All belong to Rubio. 2 on headers from point-blank range. Both stopped by de Seus, but he made no mistake from the penalty spot at the 30-minute mark. Cherie netted a brace for Violette. Scored in the 15th in 26 minutes. Played ahead to striker Louis Mott, headed over the bar by the defender, Payon. Violette were the beneficiaries of an own goal by Austin on this field in the first leg. They weren't far off from forcing the opposition into another. What it is, however, is a 3rd corner. And Violette is 2 for 2 in that regard. They've had 2, they've scored twice, both for Cherie. And a foul called against Violette before the ball even gets to the penalty spot. Uribe for Angulo. And that penalty really settled things down for Leon. Twice, Violette have been stung by VAR, both times the right call. The first leg had a chance at the 57-minute mark to make it 1-1, disallowed for offside by VAR. And then tonight, 28th minute, they go to VAR, award the penalty, 30th minute, a goal for Brian Rubio. Leon really settling in with the possession. That penalty must have been deflating to watch go in for Violette. When you're down 5-0 in aggregate, you have to be perfect. And they were darn near perfect through 25 minutes, scoring twice, had the momentum on their side. All undone in one moment. Rubio give and go to Alvarado. It's loose in front. Goalkeeper went down. It's tucked in. Everybody looking around for a whistle or a flag. There isn't one, and it's 2-2. Collision right here with the goalkeeper. Alvarado first to clatter into him. Violette players stopped, looked around at the assistant referee and the head referee. An easy finish with nobody home. Tucked in by Oscar Villa. There is a pause for a potential VAR check. Players gathered around Keller Herrera, and they will go take a look at this one. It certainly seemed as if Alvarado fouled the goalkeeper. Looked like everybody on Violette stopped, and even some of his own teammates stopped. There's a shove. He actually fouled the goalkeeper and the defender. Watch the left arm shove Michel in the back, and then he collides with the keeper. You had the Violette players stop. You had some of his own teammates for Leon stop, thinking the foul would be called. Only player who was wise enough to keep playing was Oscar Villa. And the goal will belong to him if it stands. I have a hard time believing this will stand. And it will not. Foul called against Leon. VAR does its job. Question how that foul was missed in the first place, but at least you have the fail-safe in place. Louis Ma has the overlap from Lariche, deflected, corner coming. Flipped ahead, near post, nodded away by Bayonne. Saba wanted it back down near the corner. Out to midfield for Cicerone, all the way back now for Decius. Flicked on by Dijon, but nobody home. Cherie was the closest. He gives chase now. Cotta has to play it. Almost turned over at the back. Leon again made 7 changes to this starting 11 from the team that took the field last week. It looks even more unrecognizable as compared to the team that took the field this weekend in the 0-0 draw against Cruz Azul in domestic play. With a 5-0 lead, you figure that's more than enough to get through. Would have seen some of the key fixtures from the bench probably inserted in the second half had it been 2 or 3-0 Violette. But if they can get through the evening without having to bring any of those players on, it will be a boon for Club Leon. They have a big game coming up this Saturday against Chivas. Club Leon sit in 4th place. They are just 1 point clear of 6th place Chivas. Leon will be home for that matchup. Cherie tumbles down, gets it back. Only for a moment before Leon can clear the lines. Flicked ahead to Rubio. Turning the corner on Cicerone. Gets by the defender. Rubio squares it back. Taken down by Angulo. He hesitates and now puts it over the bar. Fell perfectly for Jesus Angulo. First touch, a good one. Took it right onto his left foot. Standing all alone at the far post was Byron Castillo. On the ball that never came. Just a few minutes to go here in half number 1. A 2-1 lead for Violette on the night. A 6-2 lead for Leon on aggregate. Not interesting there for a moment when Violette scored twice in the first half an hour. Then the penalty for Leon in the 30th minute put Violette back to square one, needing 5 goals to overcome the deficit. That because Leon now has the away goal. Violette never got one last week, losing 5-0. So a tie on aggregate belongs to Leon. Violette needs 5 to get to 7-6. Here's Uribe. Angulo. Nice turn by Rubio. For Jesus Angulo. Missed a chance a moment ago. Rubio calling for it. Waiting for it at the penalty spot instead of the shot. That misses everything by Oscar Villa. Romero out wide for Castillo. And Castillo called for the foul. For Dijon. Nobody located centrally to receive that one. Club Leon hoping to parlay this run to the semifinal. Do some more success domestically. Currently in 4th place. Too far off from the top, but also not too far off from 8th and 9th place. A very tight table in Liga MX. This is their 8th appearance in Champions League, Leon. They went a while between those appearances, however. Now they've made 4 in a row. Squared back. Could they make it 2? Deflected over the bar, out for a corner. Leon qualified just 4 times in the 40-year span from 1976 through 2015. Runners-up in 1993. The semifinal on 2 other occasions. So now they have as many appearances in this tournament in the last 4 years as they had in the previous 40. 2 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half. Low driven ball near post, saved by DeCios on the redirect by Rubio. Arrow pointing up for Leon within Concacaf and within Liga MX. They would like for this success in Concacaf play to materialize into more success in Liga MX play. Guided ahead by Violette. Vidrine put it wide. Recent trophies for Leon include the Leagues Cup in 2021. They won a domestic title in Liga MX in 2020. Only have 8 in their 74-year history. So while the success has been there at times, it hasn't necessarily meant trophies. Could be heading to an All-Liga MX semifinal on this side of the bracket, as Leon would get either Tigres or Motagua, and it's Tigres going home for the second leg with a 1-0 lead over Motagua. Dijon over the top, back post. Louis Ma was waiting. Shepherded out for a corner. It'll be the last play of this first half. Violette scored twice, both off corners already. They can get one here. It makes it 3-1. It means they would need 4 in the second half. Still a long road, but a glimpse of momentum if they can strike here before the break. The near post, headed away by Leon. The yellow card comes out for Jean-Fabrice Vidrine. First card for either side here in this match. There's a whistle to end half number 1. Violette came into the night knowing it was an uphill battle, knowing they needed 5 goals. They found 2 of them in the first 26 minutes, both belonging to Cherie as he trots off the field. But in the 30th minute, Leon strike with one of their own from the penalty spot. And it means that the hard work done initially by Violette was completely undone. As we head into halftime, they lead 2-1. They trail 6-2 on aggregate. They need 5 in the next 45. Otherwise, their historic run comes to an end.
El Scotiabank es patrocinador oficial de la Liga de Campeones Concacaf Scotiabank 2023. Porque el fútbol inspira a niños y niñas, transforma su futuro. Visita nuestra página web www.scotiabank.com. /FS para conocer más de nuestras iniciativas en torno al fútbol. Qatar Airways se complace en anunciar que es la aerolínea oficial de la Liga de Campeones Concacaf, como la mejor aerolínea del mundo. Somos conocidos por nuestro servicio galardonado y nuestra extensa red global, que actualmente ofrece vuelos a más de 150 destinos, incluido América, Europa, África, Asia, Pacífico y más. Gracias a nuestra experiencia y conocimientos, la Liga de Campeones de la Concacaf promete ser un acontecimiento memorable.
Look at highlights from half number one between Violette and Club Leon from Santiago, Dominican Republic at Estadio Cibao. It was an uphill battle for Violette, needing 5 goals coming into the night after losing 5-0 last week on the road against Leon. In the early going, there were a couple of chances for Leon to really put this to bed. Brian Rubio denied twice. Paul De Sius first on that initial header from the penalty spot. This one a bit closer as he flashed to the near post. Header from the top of the 6, diving stop by De Sius. That's where things turned then offensively for Violette. Off the corner, mounted across by Louis Ma, headed in by Cherie, his 3rd goal of the tournament and his 1st of the night. All of his goals in this tournament have come with his head. And that one made it 1-0 in the 15th minute. He'd follow up 11 minutes later, another one, header off the corner. 4th goal of the tournament, 2nd of the night. All of a sudden, crowd sprung to life. Violette leading 2-0. They only needed 3 more to tie it up at 5-5 on aggregate. But just a couple of moments later, at the other end of the field, Leon had a player go down in the box. Right here, it was Castillo taken out by Fernando Ciceron. Initially, no call made. It went to VAR. Rubio put it away. So after being denied twice with the head by De Sius, steps up, drives the penalty home. Good clean strike. Up past the outstretched hand of De Sius, who gets the right way. They had another one tapped in here through Oscar Villa. That one also went to VAR and was disallowed for a foul called against Club Leon in the build-up. Near the end of the half, another chance for Villa, squaring it back. was deflected up and over the bar. And at halftime, a 2-1 lead for Violette, 6-2, excuse me, on aggregate, Fort Leon. Look at stats from that first half. Possession goes Leon's way. Opportunities were there for Violette. And they scored twice, but they know it's going to be tough here. That goal for Leon made things go back to square one for Violette, needing 5 goals coming into the night. They need 5 again in the second half. Trailing 6-2 on aggregate, but the away goal belongs to Leon. They'll need 5. They'll need a miracle. They have 45 minutes to do it. Players have taken the field for half number 2 here in Santiago, Dominican Republic at Estadio Cibao FC. Joe Malfa with you for the action this evening. Violette hosting away from their true home, Club Leon of Mexico. The Haitian side, the big surprise from the round of 16, making it through to the quarterfinal. But they are 45 minutes away from that run coming to an end. They'll need 5 goals here in this second half. Momentum was on their side for about a half an hour in the first half. And Club Leon put an end to that with the penalty scored in the 30th minute by Brian Rubio. Rain has stopped for the moment. Saw the players, as they were leaving the field, shedding their jerseys, getting those dried off at halftime. They're ready to begin anew here in the second 45. Behind the play, player down for Violette. A busted lip. They wave the trainers over. Stray forearm unintentional from Castillo. Came up and clipped the defender Jean Lariche. Violette's first appearance in the modern era of Champions League. Appeared in 6 previous iterations of the tournament. And as mentioned in the first half, you wouldn't necessarily expect it between these two teams, but only one of them has won this trophy in the past, and it came in 1984 for Violette in the old Concacaf Champions Cup. They marked their return to this tournament and their first ever modern era appearance with an upset of MLS's Austin FC in the first round. They won 3-0 on this field. They went on the road and did so with an abbreviated number of players because of visa issues. They had 14 players available altogether. And among those 14, they were missing 5 starters and 6 substitutes from the first leg against Austin. They withstood the onslaught of Austin FC, wave after wave of the attack. They lost just 2-0, won 3-2 on aggregate, got here to the quarters. They held on for so long in the first leg against Leon, trailing 1-0 until the 65th minute. A few minutes prior to that, had what they thought was an equalizer, negated because of an offside decision through VAR. And then from there, Leon scored in the 66th. Even 2-0 would have been okay. Instead, they scored 3 times in the final 10 minutes, 84th, 91st, 94th, to win it 5-0. Uphill battle for Violette. 2 of those goals they needed in the first 25 minutes, both through Nader Cherie. His 4th goal of the tournament came in the 26th minute. The crowd was into it. There were 3 goals back, but then the penalty for Leon. A double whammy. Made it 2-1 on the night. Made it 6-2 on aggregate. But it erased both of the goals Violette had already scored. They need 5 more still because of the away goal now belonging to Leon. It should be routine from here for Club Leon. Last thing they want to do is concede a couple of times, give Violette any life, and feel any reason to dip into the bench. The bench littered with their main starters, Club Leon, who they would prefer to rest until this Saturday when they host Chivas. Matchup of 4th place Leon versus 6th place Chivas, separated by just 1 point in Liga MX. Here's Castillo. Alvarado left it behind. Later tonight, scheduled for a 10:15 Eastern Time kickoff. It's LAFC against Vancouver Whitecaps. LAFC leads 3-0 on aggregate. All 3 of those goals coming on the road last week. Played through here for Leon, chipping back post and over the bar. Nice run out of the midfield by Alvarado, linking up with Rubio. So LAFC will host Vancouver coming up in about an hour. He will similarly be in cruise control, as Leon has been here. And also in similar fashion, the way that Leon's goals all came in a 10-minute span late, LAFC's goals all came in a 10-minute span from the 56th to the 65th. 2 for Denis Bouanga, the tournament's leading scorer at the moment. And 1 for Kono Opoku. So LAFC looks to be the first team into the semifinal on one side of the bracket. Elsewhere on that side, Philadelphia Union with a 1-0 lead on aggregate over Atlas. So we could potentially have an all MLS American-based semifinal on one side, and with Leon likely through here, it'd be an all Liga MX semifinal on the other side. Tigres a 1-0 lead over Motagua after the first leg, and Tigres is coming home for the second leg. Here's Oscar Villa. Free kick coming for Leon. Should mention that Philadelphia is on the road tomorrow against Atlas. So they have that 1-0 lead, but so often a 1-0 lead when you're home in the first leg is a precarious position to be. Not nearly enough, and especially against an Atlas side who overcame more than that earlier in the tournament. They lost 4-1 on the road against Olympia of Honduras, came back home and won 4-0. Free kick sent in toward the back post. Left for a volley, blocked off the line by Orasius. Struck well by Lucas Romero, and now some space, but the turf monster got there. For Vedrine, stumbled at the last moment on the surface. Was in the clear and had some help centrally, a 2-on-1. All the way back for Decius. Whistle blows. That was called against Violette. Last year was the breakthrough for the United States for MLS, with Seattle Sounders winning it all. We very well could have the pendulum swing back in Liga MX's favor. Leon looks likely to go through here with a 5-goal advantage. Atlas, as mentioned before, they're going back home with a 1-0 deficit against Philadelphia Union. And then Tigres goes home with a 1-0 advantage over Motagua. Could see 3 of the 4 teams based out of Liga MX, with the other one being LAFC, should they hold on tonight. Going in with a 3-0 lead at home over Vancouver. Ten minutes gone here in the second half, and it has not yet looked like Violette would be able to recapture some of that magic and momentum from the early stages of the first half. when that goal went in for Leon, it had to feel like a dagger to the hearts of the Violette players. They clawed to within 3 goals, had all the momentum. As old as the cliche is, the most dangerous lead in soccer is a 2-goal lead, and you were 1 goal away from making it just a 2-goal deficit going into the second half. And the way that first half was going would not have put it past Violette to knock in the third, make it 3-0, and have 45 minutes to play, down just 2. They have not had another goalward opportunity since they conceded to make it 2-1 and 6-2 overall. Flicked away by Michel. It's a good night for Leon to get a lot of players some experience that they otherwise wouldn't necessarily accrue. On the back line alone, Oscar Villa, Luis Cervantes, a pair of 22-year-olds who have played almost exclusively with the reserves, have cracked the lineup a handful of occasions with the first team, and that's all. Big experience tonight. Going further up the field, 18-year-old Hector Uribe and 20-year-old Fidel Ambriz in that same boat. Just a couple of appearances with the first team, mostly with the reserve side. And then if you look to the bench tonight for Leon, as they eventually, presumably, start dipping into that, we'll have another handful of youth products from the reserve side. Brian Romero, Jorge Diaz, Saul Zamora, Sebastian Santos, and Jose Salazar. All 5 of them players who predominantly call the reserve side home. Salazar and Romero have never appeared for the first team, so we could see a couple of debuts in this second half for Leon. Madrine, flicked on by Dejan, outside of the boot shot by Michel. Easily gathered by Rodolfo Cota. Angulo to Villa. Now Uribe. Angulo presses through the middle, threads it for Alvarado. Too much steam on it, taken away by Horacius. First substitution being ready now by Club Leon as we inch toward the hour mark. Villa for Uribe. Uribe making his 3rd Champions League appearance. The 18-year-old debuted with the first team in January. Has 4 appearances, 1 start, and a goal in the Clausura. Made his debut for the Mexican U20s in a friendly last September. That came after their under-20 championship appearance in the summer. And Uribe, on that note, checks out. Victor Davila enters. Uribe is seen as part of the next wave for the U20s for Mexico. The 18-year-old was not in the fold last summer at the Under-20 Championship, where Mexico bowed out of the tournament early, failed to qualify for this year's U20 World Cup. They have turned the new leaf to the likes of Uribe. Didn't really have much of the game played down his side here. Chance to showcase himself tonight. Hour gone, half hour to go. Violette players will not be too happy to see Davila enter the match. He scored the brace last week in that 5-0 victory. Helped put that well out of reach. Chance here for Violette, quickly taken off the free kick. And shielded out for a corner. Davila has been terrific for Leon. Maybe out there to poach another goal or two and put this incredibly out of reach. Whipped in from the corner. Headed vertically by Michel. Victor Davila, 31 goals in his 94 appearances for Leon since joining in January of 2021. Now over 2 years with the club. 25-year-old from Chile. Lucas Romero. For Bayonne, just got rid of it quickly with the pressure closing in. Dejean, good foot put in by Paul Bayonne to win it back. But Bayonne have no intentions of turning this into an end-to-end track meet here with less than a half an hour remaining. Content to just pass it around the back, be patient to the midfield, maybe bag a chance here or there. But just methodically and professionally push this over the finish line without any further drama, without having to dip into the bench anymore. Taken by Castillo. Castillo clipped. No foul given. And settled again at midfield by Leon. Switched out to Davila. Davila swings it in. Angulo to Romero. Over the top, back post, knotted down to Romero, put wide. Oscar Villa on that run down the left wing, played a good ball in. Ryan Rubio squared the header back. First change coming now for Violette. Oliver Wodensky into the match for John Fabrice Vidrine. Wodensky, the 18-year-old, making his third appearance off the bench here in this tournament. Wadensky went 90 minutes in all 4 matches last summer for Haiti at the Concacaf Under-20 Championship. In those 360 minutes, had 1 assist. Defensive-minded midfielder. Also, Lutherson Merville in for Wilman Horacius. Angulo's ball from the free kick, chested and volleyed by Rubio, well off target. Merville, the 24-year-old, now in at center back in his Champions League debut, off the bench for 17 minutes last week. Rubio taken down. He has had a terrific evening for Leon. A handful for Violette to deal with. Another change on both sides on the way. That's all for Danny Camille. In comes Gianni Parima. And on the other side, Iron Castillo exits. Elias Hernandez comes in. Hernandez scored last week in the 5-0 victory. The old guard for Club Leon, 34-year-old, approaching 600 professional appearances. And Hernandez 586 tonight as he steps between the lines. A career spent entirely in Mexico since his debut in 2004. 103 goals in his professional career. Has 2 goals and 2 assists in his 3 Champions League appearances so far this year. Romero. Hernandez, first touch of the ball. For Bayonne. Now to Hernandez on the wing. Bayonne. Calmly back for Ambriz. Possession is 65-35 in Leon's favor, but that doesn't really tell the whole story of what this second half has become, as Leon are content to just get out of here without any further drama. They have 85% of the possession here in the second half. 65-35 for the match, 85-15 in this second half through 25 minutes for Club Leon. You can deal in the what-ifs for Violette. What if VAR did not award that penalty to Leon in the first half? Might they have pressed on for a 3rd goal in that first half with all the momentum they had, fresh off of 2 goals in 10 minutes? You can take that further back. What if VAR did not disallow the goal for offside last week? That would have made it 1-1 in the 57th minute. From there, that turned into an avalanche for Leon. Scored in the 66th, 84th, 91st, 94th. What seemed to be 1-1 near the hour mark turned into a devastating 5-0 defeat for Violette. Those two fork-in-the-road moments both went in Leon's favor. Violette was always going to need a lot to go their way in this tie in order to continue their historic surprise run and crash the semifinal. They nearly had those things go their way. In the end, they're going to come up short. I still have to give them a massive round of applause for all they've endured, their personal lives, watching our country in turmoil, all the violence going on in Haiti. They've been training in the mornings to avoid some of the dangers that lurk in the night. And that's when they can train. Domestic league completely suspended, has been for a while, is still indefinitely. Don't know when we'll see them turn up next. Have to tip the cap to what we've seen from them in this tournament. Taken away now by Dijon. Plays it through, a chance to get another goal here and keep them alive. Around the keeper goes Louis-Map. He's taken down, but he lost the ball. Mentioned it in the first half. Could be coming up in the next couple of months that we see Violette pop up again in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. It's a tournament that has now taken the place of the former Caribbean Club Championship. That's what Violette won last May against Cibao in penalties to get here to this tournament. Don't exactly know who's participating in that new CAF Caribbean Cup or when exactly it's taking place. We just know sometime in this summer into the fall. Could be where we see Violette next. Supposed to be two teams from Haiti representing. Corner to the near post, headed away. Cherie slipped through on the ground. Player taken out, but the ball was won by Cicerone. Club Leon continues its run of form overall, but this would be their first loss in quite some time. Unbeaten in all competitions in the last 13 matches they've played. While they will come out on top, of course, in the tie with a 6-2 lead on aggregate. Losing this match 2-1 would put that run to a halt. They have not lost since February 4th. 1-0 at home against Pachuca. Since then, a run of 9 wins and 4 draws for Leon. That run was built initially on defensive prowess. 7 of the first 8 matches in this run of 13 unbeaten, they kept a clean sheet. And in the one match they did not keep the clean sheet, they only allowed 1 goal. So in the first 8 matches of this unbeaten run, as Karima picks up the yellow card, Leon allowed just 1 goal with 7 clean sheets. The later stages of this run of 13 unbeaten have been more centered around the offense. Before a scoreless draw this past weekend at home against Cruz Azul, they had scored 15 goals in their last 5 matches. Average of 3 per game, and they had at least 2 in all 5 of those games. Well, the next step perhaps for Leon, as the free kick is flicked on and saved by Necios, is putting everything together. The defensive prowess that got the streak started in the first 8 games, the offensive prowess that has kept the streak going for 13 matches unbeaten in all competitions. Quarter of an hour tonight. They need to get at least 1 goal to keep that unbeaten run going. Although we do know now that they will be on their way through, barring 5 goals in the last 15 minutes here from Violette. You wonder if that's something at all on the minds of Club Leon going into these final 15 minutes, knowing that 13-match unbeaten run would come to an end as it stands, despite ultimately accomplishing the feat at hand tonight. Chance to level things here. Saved by Necios. No rebound left as Rubio was lurking. Club Leon 8 points off the pace currently set by Monterrey in Liga MX. 34 points for Monterrey in first place. Leon 26 in 4th place. Taken centrally by Hernandez, looking for an alleyway with which to shoot. It's a tight table beyond Monterrey. Toluca, 28 points, 2nd place. Club America, 27 points in 3rd place. Leon, 26 points in 4th place. And then Pachuca and Chivas tied on 25 points each. So only 3 points separate 2nd through 6th right now in Liga MX. Leon will be engaged in a tight battle down the stretch. About halfway through that season. Dozen minutes remain now here in Santiago at Estadio Cibao. With Leon virtually into the semifinal now. And start taking a look at the roadmap ahead. It will be either Tigres or Motagua in the next round. It will be Leon's first trip to the semifinal since they made it there in 1998. In the old Concacaf Champions Cup, they fell to DC United of Major League Soccer 2-0 in that semifinal. DC United went on to beat Toluca in the final. So while Seattle Sounders last year were the first winners of this tournament in the modern Champions League era, we do have some American winners in the past in the old iterations of this tournament. That was the last time Leon made it to a semifinal. 1998. Here we are 25 years later. They've never won this tournament in any previous iteration. Best result was 1993. They finished as the runners-up. Here's Luima. Step over, looking to push to the end line. It's knocked out for a corner for Violette. Back in that 1993 tournament when Leon finished as the runners-up, it was Saprissa who lifted the trophy. Peterson Revanche just came into the match. The third change for Violette, but they've used all three windows now as the corner's curled in. Ended things tonight for Cherie, and ends things for his tournament. Going to leave with his head held high. There, Cherie scored a brace in the first leg against Austin. Violette added an own goal in that match to win it 3-0. They held on to lose just 2-0 on the road. Pulled off that historic upset. Made it to this quarterfinal round. As poorly as things went in the end last week in Mexico, they started very well tonight. 25 minutes in, a 2-0 lead for Violette on the back of 2 goals by Cherie, bringing him to 4 in the tournament. If not for some of the heroics we've seen from Denis Bouanga of LAFC, Cherie would be right there in the Golden Boot race, but Bouanga's already up to 5. As LAFC is set a half an hour from now to host Vancouver Whitecaps. They have a 3-0 lead on aggregate in that match, partly because of Bouanga. Scored twice in that initial match in Vancouver. He's been equally successful in domestic play. 6 goals in MLS. Bouanga scored a hat-trick this past weekend. LAFC looks like they are here to win this thing. Trying to go back-to-back for MLS with Seattle last year and LAFC this year. It's LAFC's second appearance in this tournament back in 2020 when the restart happened in Orlando. They made it through to the final. Lost that year to Tigres. So it could be another collision course, perhaps, for Tigres and LAFC, a rematch of the 2020 championship game. LAFC, if they hold on tonight to their 3-0 aggregate lead over Vancouver, it would meet the winner of Atlas and Philadelphia, in which Philadelphia leads 1-0 on aggregate, going on the road for the second leg to Atlas, second leg tomorrow night. On the other side of the bracket, where you will find Leon in the semifinal. They await the winner of Tigres and Motagua. Slipped through now to Davila, scored twice last week. Denied here by the Seus. Luima. That's inside and loses it. The only thing that really seems to be at stake right now is whether or not Club Leon will maintain their unbeaten run of 13 matches. They have not lost since February 4th. It has been 66 days since Leon last lost a match. Now, granted, tonight is a unique scenario where they had bigger things at hand, accomplishing and attaining advancement rather than necessarily winning this game. But now in the late stages, might be nice to go ahead and keep that unbeaten run as Joel Campbell comes in for Alfonso Alvarado. All the way back for Nerville. Subbed on around the 70-minute mark for Violette. Villa gives it away. Nerville steps up. Again, we don't necessarily know when we will see Violette next, perhaps in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup, but whether it's with this club or at the international level for Haiti, and whether that's the U20 international level or the senior international level, there are a lot of names to be on the lookout for from this Violette roster. Jean Lariche, who started today at left back, 4 appearances, all starts last summer in the under-20 championship for Haiti. In the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship, they advanced to the round of 16, lost 2-1 to Jamaica. His partner on the back line, Fernando Cicerón, captained all 4 games last summer. Did pick up a red card in that round of 16 match, 25 minutes in against Jamaica. That really hurt their efforts. Further up the field, Jean-Fabrice Vedrine started tonight as the number 10. Been called into camps for the U20s and U23s for Haiti. No international appearances just quite yet. And even on the bench have that talent. Oliver Wadensky subbed in. He went 90 in all 4 matches in the Under-20 Championship last summer. And that was as a 17-year-old. So when that tournament comes back around next year, he'll be 19 for Haiti. Maybe a name to keep in the back of your mind, Wadensky, if they decide to take a youngster to the Gold Cup just for the experience. And then Shad San Milan, 4 starts in the Under-20 Championship last summer. 18-year-old has used this time away from domestic league to focus on finishing high school, but back into the mix, I would imagine, for the U20s and perhaps the senior team. Again, same boat as Wadensky, if they would like to take a youngster just to give him that exposure. This sport has been an escape and beacon of hope for the people of Haiti as of late, whether it's Violette on this historic run of the quarterfinal here, whether it's the women's senior national team qualifying for the World Cup this summer, whether it's the men's senior national team and the success they've had in CONCACAF Nations League. They won their group in League B, earned promotion to League A, and are going to be a tough out in the Gold Cup for whoever draws them in their group. Part of what makes this game beautiful and ubiquitous around the world. In times of trouble and turmoil, you can turn to this for a smile, for an escape. It's about to come to an end for Violette, but there's just been a glimpse of a respite found in this beautiful game. Steven Sava stands over the free kick. He figures to be with the national team in June at the Gold Cup. Started 4 games in Nations League, scored 2 goals. Is there one last positive to hold on to here for Violette from the free kick? It'll be Steven Sava just over the bar. Got it up over the wall, but not down under in time. Looked like Rodolfo Cota had a beat on it anyway. A no-nonsense professional approach from Club Leon here in this second half. Things might have been different had they not had the penalty go their way in that first half, but the messaging clear in the locker room from Nicolas Larcamon. In this second half, they have had nearly 90% of the possession, Club Leon. On the turn, Rubio has it knocked away. Past 90 minutes now. Player down for Leon in the center of the park. It's Luis Cervantes, one of the young players from the reserve side, getting a crack at it tonight. Hasn't had a ton to do, especially in the second half on that back line. Tough challenge there from Louis Ma. Had the official word on stoppage time. That's because there isn't any. There's the final whistle. A historic run comes to an end for Violette. So many players drop to the ground, look skyward. That'll do it for their run. Club Leons will continue. For the first time in 25 years, Club Leon on the way to the semifinal of Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League. They wait for the result then in the next match, the second leg between Tigres and Motagua. Could be an All-Liga MX semifinal on this side of the bracket. It's a bid farewell to Violette and their fans. Club Leon trying to advance to a final now for the first time since 1993. They've never won this tournament. Their unbeaten run comes to an end tonight at 13 matches, but they accomplish what they had in mind, making it through to the semifinal. And that does it for us tonight from Santiago, Dominican Republic at Estadio Cibao FC. More action later tonight, coming up in 15 minutes between LAFC and Vancouver. For the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malva saying good night from Santiago. Leon is through to the semifinal.